Good morning, everybody. Silas back again today. All this snow out here is reflecting this sun, and it is bright. This is kind of a freak storm. It came out of nowhere yesterday. We got a whole bunch of ice and then a bunch of snow. There was supposed to be a 30% chance of light rain. So wasn't quite expecting this, but that's okay. We're going to work in it anyway. Today's agenda. We're going to fire up the torch and we're going to get to chopping. I'm probably not going to get as much done as I hope to get done. I don't believe Sean's going to be able to come help me today, but I'm going to get as much done as I can. Dealing with the weather is going to make things a little bit more interesting, but I've got that rack I can put some of the stuff up on if I need to, so we'll figure it out. But let's get to work. I've got to get the bottles out of the back of my truck. I don't need them back here anyway. That's just extra weight I'm carrying around for no reason. And at $4.50 a gallon for diesel, I don't want to waste any more fuel than I have to. And there we go. I got it all hooked up. I got the loader running. It should be warmed up by now, so I'm going to get it out and I'm going to start dragging cars out so I can start cutting them up. This isn't necessarily what I wanted to do right now. I would much rather be crushing cars while prices are up. But if I don't get these noses cut off now, that show is coming up right around the corner. Just by the time you see this, that show will be just a few days away. So if I don't get this stuff cut up and get it ready to go now, I'm not going to get it done. It's kind of unfortunate timing. I guess I should have got this done sooner, but a lot of times it's hard to sell the stuff until right before the show, and then people want to buy it. So that's when you have to cut it off. I'm going to work on this today, maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how tomorrow goes. And then if I don't get it done then, I'll have to come back on Saturday and finish it on Saturday. Wow, that is so much better having this rack here now. I can get right up underneath here. No more laying on the ground in the stickers. I'll set it back on the ground before I cut the top side of it. But I figured while I'm working on it, I might as well go ahead and take the cab off too. That way I can haul the frame in for scrap. But I got the two motor mounts back here on the back. Now with this, I can actually just hop right in here. Now I get right to everything without laying on the ground. It's pretty awesome. Then I've got the two body mounts up there. So I get those cut. So yeah, this is really handy. I can't quite stand up straight, but this is still better than laying on the ground. Well, that was a good one. I forgot to hit record. I got the mounts up here cut on the front of the nose. That way the nose will lift off. And I got that little plate in here cut off. I just got to cut the tag bracket off. I got the front mounts cut. I got the rear mounts cut. Got everything cut, so it should be ready to lift off from the bottom at least. I do have to cut the pedal still and the steering column, but I'm going to have to put it down on the ground to get that. But I believe I'm completely done underneath the cab now, so now I can put it on the ground. There we go. I think that's going to be the only issue with these racks here, is that with these forks, the way they're made, it's just a solid blind spot. When you have the forks out in front of you completely level, you cannot see where the forks are. All you see is this. You have no clue where the forks are. You kind of know they're towards the bottom of that, but you can't see the tips of the forks. You can't tell how far they're tilted or anything. So what you have to do is either go like this until you can't see them anymore, or you have to go like this. And so it's just kind of annoying, but I'll get used to it eventually. But I want to pop the hood open on this and get to cutting, cut the nose off of it, get the cab off, then we're good to go. There we go, there's one down. Got it chopped off. I got the steering column cut. I just now noticed this. That's actually a really cool piece. I bet that's worth some money right there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to make sure I get that off there. That doesn't go with the cab. I think, oh, and I got these two hoses over here I got to cut. I think after that, I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. And then this cab will lift off of here. And I can just set this whole chassis on my trailer. And I can stack something else on top of it later and haul it into the claw. It's got these two old bedsides on the back of it here. They don't have very good color to them. They're just black primer. They're kind of rusty, so honestly those are probably just going to stay right where they're at and go to the shredder with the rest of the truck. There's some good emblems on the side of this hood. I'll go ahead and save those for sure. Yeah, I forgot that one stinking bolt right there in the front. I can't believe I forgot that. See, normally when Sean's helping me, we disconnect the fenders from the cab before we lift the cab off, so it's not that big of a deal. This in here, I decided I'd take a shortcut and leave what's left of the fenders attached, and it didn't work out. That's okay. I did put one little dent in one of the doors, but it's still fixable. I was careful with it. Everything else came off good. This engine does still turn. I was kind of shocked, so it's kind of unfortunate that it's got to go away to the shredder, old 216, but you know, it is what it is. You can't save it all. I am going to go ahead and chop these running boards off because a lot of times the guys that buy the cabs want the running boards to go with them. Mr. Goodpliers is here now. He's here to get that old 77 Pontiac. He's really lucky he bought that when he did, because at today's prices it would scrap for what I sold it to him for. So if he hadn't bought it, I was going to take it, smash the roof in, and set it on top of this frame and haul it into the shredder. But he's here now, so I guess it gets saved. Next up on the list, we got this old Ford. I think this is like a 46 Ford or so. Pretty cool truck. I thought about trying to sell the cab and front clip together for the rat rod material, but you know, for the price I'm getting for the nose, it's not really worth trying to sell the whole thing. So what I'll do is I'll pull the whole thing apart once again, just like I did on the last one, and I'll set the cab aside and try to find a buyer for it later. It's got 3 cab mounts on these on each side compared to the 2 that are on the Chevys, so I got to get those cut off, and then I'm not sure what's up underneath here, what holds all this on, but I'll go through, figure out what's what, get everything underneath chopped, set it down on the ground. I probably will go ahead and save the engine out of this one. If I remember right, this has got that V8 flathead in it that still turns over good, so more than likely I'm going to save that, but that won't take too long to pull out. I'll probably just pull the whole motor and transmission all together, pull it apart later, and then I'll set the frame over there on top of that frame. There we go. I got that off over there. The hood's laying over there. I'll lay it on top of it, cut it off later. Right now I'm just trying to get the cab off. The cab is almost done, but I ran out of oxygen. I gotta go get my other bottle. I gotta finish cutting the column and cut one more pedal. Then I'll be able to lift the cab off. And this is a good run of 223 in this one. I forgot about that. There we go. I got it finished cutting. Got my new oxygen bottle in. Got the front motor mounts cut. I can't cut the transmission mounts till I get the cab off though. But I think I got everything cut on the cab, so I'm going to try to lift it off there real quick, and hopefully it's good to go. And there we go. I just gotta cut the drive shaft, the PTO shaft, the clutch linkage, and looks like one mount there and one mount there, and I should be able to lift this engine right off here. There we go, it's loaded up. I actually kind of think I want to put one more on there yet. If I have time tomorrow to get another one cut off, I'll stack another one on there. I had so many people call me and come out and talk to me and that sort of stuff today. I didn't get nearly as much done as what I really needed to get done. So tomorrow I'm just going to shut my phone off and lock the gate behind me. That way nobody can come in. But I did manage to get 2 of the noses cut off. This one here, I got to pull the radiator out and then finish cutting it across. But that won't take but a second. The reason why I didn't just cut this one with a torch is I could probably cut the fenders with the torch, no problem. But this hood has all that fancy design on the side of it, and if I go trying to cut that with a torch, it's just going to splatter all over the place. So it'll be a whole lot better to cut that with a whiz wheel. So I'm hoping I can get my buddy Sean to come help me. I got this old cab off here. It came off there pretty good. The steering column wasn't quite cut all the way through, but it just went plink and popped off there, no problem. This is not too bad of a cab. I mean, it's got some issues. It's got a little bit of holes in the floor where they've cut to make room for stuff. It's got a little bit of rust up there above the windshield. Not too terrible. A little bit in this cab corner if I remember right. Yeah, down there at the bottom. But you know, overall this is a pretty solid cab. So I think I'll be able to find this a new home. If anybody's in the market for one of these, 46, 47, whatever year this is, Ford, I would take $600 for this cab right here. I shoved the bus back out of the way. I've got to get this old 48, 49, 50, whatever year this Ford here is. I've got to get it out. I got to chop the nose off of it. I'm probably not going to bother pulling the cab on that one. I don't think anybody's going to want that cab. It's a little bit on the rough side. I mean, I've seen worse. Somebody might want this cab, but I'm not going to mess with it today. I'm just going to chop the nose off and then set the whole truck back off to the side. Then I've got this other old jail bar Ford back here. That in there. I'm going to try to just go ahead and lift the cab off of it as well. I don't remember what engine's in that, but I'm sure it's locked up. That one sat in a tree row for a long time. But I got to get at least the nose cut off of that one. And then they're buying the nose off of this one here. This one's pretty rough on the nose. It's missing a lot of parts, but I sold it pretty cheap. And then I've got one more Ford truck out back, not the one that you can see. Actually, there's 2 of them that you can see. It's neither of those. It's actually just a cab on the back of that one there. And I got to get the nose cut off of that one. And then I've got the yellow school bus and the green 50, 51 Dodge, whatever that one was, that came in here the other day. Kind of ashamed to cut the nose off of that one, but it's just an old Dodge 4-door. It's not a popular year, even if it was a 2-door. So nobody was really interested in it, and they were interested in the nose for pretty good money, so away it goes. Tomorrow, I'm hoping I can at least get the nose off the truck back there behind me done, both of those trucks back there, that half ton, and the one way out back, and the first one I showed you over here. That'd be 3 there, and then hopefully I can get to this jail bar Ford over here and get all those done. That's the game plan, especially if I have my phone shut off to where nobody can call me and bother me. I think we can get it done. If I get everything else done, or especially if Sean can come out here and help me, then I'm probably going to send her a picture of this one here. I'm pretty sure I can talk her into this nose as well, but I don't want to overload myself. She's already talked into, 9 of them? Plus I have one more at the other yard, but it's already off, so that's 10. So I don't want to overdo it. We'll just wait on that one if we have to. And then sometime, I sold the nose off of that one back there, that Chevy. He's not coming for it until April though, so I got plenty of time on that. Welcome back. It's another beautiful day out here, and we're going to get to cutting. But first, listen. You hear all those birds? That's crazy. There's just tons and tons of birds out today. Just everywhere. It's actually kind of loud out here. There's so many birds chirping. They're probably all going to get quiet here in a minute though, because I'm going to have to fire the loader up and get to work. There we go. I think it's all cut. I just got the bottom radiator hose. Got everything else cut, except for I discovered it still has the air intake tube on it for the heater. If I can block the sunlight, there we go. Goes in there. That is a very rare piece. I've only ever had one of those before. So that's actually pretty cool. Last time I had one of those was quite a few years ago, but I got really good money out of that tube. As long as they aren't rusted out, which that in there looks pretty solid. It's got a lot of surface rust. It might have some pinholes in it. but it's repairable. I mean, a lot of times those things are just rotted to nothing, or they're completely gone. So that's all still in there. So I'm actually going to have to take my time to unbolt that. It unbolts up there under the headlight, so you actually have to pull the headlight out to be able to get it off. So I'm going to have to pull all this out, set it down on the ground, pull all this out, take that out, pull it out. But here's the vent where the air goes in. You notice on this side it doesn't have that vent. I thought about popping the cab off of it, that way I could send the chassis in for scrap because it doesn't have a good motor in it, but I'm just really pushing against the wall on time right now. I'm almost out of time, so I don't have time to mess with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the nose off of it, and that'll be it for now. There we go, got it popped out. Now I get right up there to those 2 bolts. There we go, we got it loose. There was 1 bolt right here in that hole that I could not get out. It was actually just a screw, and it was starting to strip out, so I finally just gave up, got the torch out, and real carefully cut the head off of it. I think it's ready just to lift off of here. There might be some wiring over here on that headlight, but other than that, it's ready to go. I'm gonna set the camera up and take it off. Whew, that was a good one. I forgot that I don't have steel toes on today because I wore my insulated waterproof boots. Whew, that did not feel good. I dropped it right on my toes. Gonna have to walk that one off. Now all that's left is to cut the hood. I'm gonna have to pull these 2 emblems off here on the side because I gotta go right kind of through the middle of those where it needs to be cut. So I'll just take them off, that way they're just not even on there. There we go. I went out back and found a couple of headlights and put in it. I had to find one of the little small rings to go around this side because this side over here had the big ring and the small ring. This side didn't have either. So I still need to find a big ring for it. Just whatever I can get to fit on there. It doesn't have to be exact, but the headlight wouldn't even stay in there without having that small ring around it. So got that on there. That way the headlight will at least stay in it. That one there was already all together. So we got 3 of them off now. Next up, we got this old Ford half-ton. This in here, I believe the radiator's already gone. So this in here should go pretty quick. This one's pretty rough, but I sold it pretty cheap, so they can be happy with it. There we go. Hopefully I can talk somebody into that frame. It's a good half-ton frame. If not, we'll chop the back of the cab off and a few other parts some future day and crush it. Next up on the list, this in here got a little bit spicy. When I was cutting a bracket up underneath there, a whole bunch of sparks rained down and went right down the front of my overalls, in between my overalls and my shirt. And they burned a nice little hole in my shirt. So my belly got a little bit warm for a second. This in here has all the chrome on it, but the chrome is really rough. Since there's that many, what I'll do is I'll get it marked where I need to cut. It's going to be somewhere right around in here, and I'll just take the Sawzall and I'll just cut right through it all and leave the rest on there. This truck here, man, I really don't know that there's much good on this. This thing was burned. I'll probably save the doors off of it. The back of the cab's pretty well junk. It's all rotted and ripped apart from being burnt, so I'll see what engine's in it. It's supposed to have a 383. that he said runs really good. But I mean, it's a gigantic rat nest under here. Check this thing out. There we go. I'm gonna have to clean a bunch of that out just to be able to cut it, because that's a fire hazard and a half waiting to happen right there. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the nose off of this, cut the doors off of this, and then I'll probably just go ahead and take it and set it up on top of the load. And there we go. That is one big rat nest. I don't think I've ever seen one quite that big. I've seen a lot of big rat nests, but man, they really packed that one in. What's weird is all the other trucks that came from where this one came from weren't like this. It was just this one, so those rats must have really liked this one. I tried cleaning it out, but I filled my whole burn ring clear full almost, and there's still a ton in there. I thought, man, I'm just going to burn this thing to the ground. It's already been burnt once, but I want to burn it again if I try to cut this with a torch. So I just got the Sawzall out. It took a little bit longer, a little bit harder on the ears, but I got it out of there. I got to pull this radiator out, and then I'll have to pull these turn signals off of here as well. I'll just leave the holes in there. The holes won't matter, but with that one being busted off, it doesn't look right with those. So I'll get both of those off of there. Kind of crazy. There's another one of these tubes under this one, and that whole setup. So I guess I'll pull that out of there real quick. This one's not nearly as nice as the other one. It's got a little bit of damage, a little bit of rust in it, and the motor's really rusty on it. So I'm not going to bother saving the motor, but I am going to go ahead and pull off the tube itself and try to sell it. I'm not sure what the engine is exactly. I'm going to clean that carburetor off a little bit more, see if I can get the engine to turn over, but it's just a 2-barrel it looks like, so I'm guessing it's just a common 383. Not really any value to those. So the guy said this thing had a 383 Chrysler in it. I was just going to leave it in there until I looked at the carburetor and I said, that's not a Chrysler carburetor, that's a GM carburetor. So I cleaned the engine off and I finally just cut the fenders off the side so I could get in here and clean most of that rat nest off. I ran the casting number, I ran the serial number up here on the front pad below the head. And what this motor is a 1956 265 Chevy out of a Corvette. It's got all the numbers that make it for a Corvette. It'd be numbers matching to drop this engine right in a Corvette. There is a chance that it came out of a passenger car, but this is the exact numbers. Everything on this, the numbers match what would be in a Corvette. So that's what I'm going to advertise it as. It is stuck, so it's just a core, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then it's got the adapter back here, the aluminum adapter. You can't really see it, to adapt it down to a 4-speed. It was originally a Power Glide engine, non-AC car. Just a 2-barrel, so it's not the high-performance one, but still, that's pretty cool to find an old, original, numbers-matching 1956 Chevy V8. And then Mr. Goodplayers came by again. He was in the area, and he wanted to buy the steering column out of it, so we just chopped that out real quick with the torch. I've got 3 more noses to get cut off. I won't have time to get them all done today. I'm going to grab that jail bar Ford out back here and get it done today, and then the bus and the old Dodge up front, I'll worry about those either later this week or this weekend or next week or something like that. Man, that was the quickest one yet. The hood wasn't even attached. There was 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts on that side that I had to cut, and then I had the 2 bolts down here I had to cut. So it should be off there now. Oh, and I had to cut a few wires. I just lift that whole front clip off once again. I don't want to torch through this hood with all that fancy stuff on the side of it, because I will mess that up pretty bad, and I don't even want to use the Sawzall on it, because even that'll tear it up. I want to make sure we use the actual whiz wheel. I got 3 copper radiators. Got these 2 here, and then there's one in this front clip over here yet. There's one more bolt in it I forgot to cut, so I'll have to cut that later. I got 6 noses cut off completely now. I got 2 more to cut off. Then I'll show you some of the other goodies we got. I got this one here. There's not much. This is the one that's missing some of the pieces. And then I've got this here. This is a valence panel. These here, they reproduce the half tons, and they're a tiny bit different sized than these. Tiny bit different shaped, and they don't fit. You can't put a big truck in a half ton. You can't put a half ton in a big truck. They won't work. So these here, they do not reproduce. So you can get as much out of one of these in this condition that what a brand new one costs. just because you can't buy one of these brand new exactly. This in here is missing that piece there. It fell out, but it goes down there at the other end. And then we got a good carburetor. That's probably about a $50 carburetor. And then I got a set of these. I think one of the studs is broken off. Yeah, one of the studs is broken off, but you know, there's still probably 30 bucks there, give or take. I don't know exactly. This piece here is the banger. That's probably a $300 piece right there. I'm pretty excited for that. I can't find one of these. The patent date on it is 1936. And it is an accessory, so you could put these on whatever you wanted to put it on. That way you would have electric wipers. It's electric with a vacuum pump on it. That way it wasn't just the regular vacuum pump running your wipers. These are a pretty cool piece, but it's somewhere out of the 30s or 40s or 50s, somewhere in that range. But I'll just advertise it as fitting whatever you want to put it on. Plus I found the 265 engine in this truck, plus I sold the steering column off of this truck. So all in all, it was a pretty good day. Got quite a bit done. There'll be quite a bit of money to be made. Obviously I didn't make all that money right now. So far all I've made is $40. That's all I've actually made. But once I sell all this other stuff, there'll be quite a bit of money coming in. That's the name of the game out here, is putting stuff out and having to wait for the money to come in. When I buy stuff, I have to pay for it right then and there. But when I sell stuff, a lot of times I don't get paid for it for sometimes a month or 2 months. But I'm going to get all my tools put up real quick before it gets any darker. It's starting to get pretty dark out. It's not supposed to rain, I didn't think, but it kind of looks like snow or rain. So I'll have to check the forecast. But I want to put all this stuff up and cover the torch up, put the torch away actually, cover the bottles up. When I started this morning, the birds were all chirping and singing a beautiful song, and they're all doing it again. I can hear them all through the trees. I sure hope my mic's picking that up. But I'm done for the day now. I'm going to head out. I'm going to end this vlog here. Tomorrow I'm going to get back to crushing, processing cars. I probably won't record a whole vlog in one day. I'll probably put the rest of the week together into one vlog. That kind of works better for me, and that way I don't desensitize you guys with a crushing video every single day. That way I'll just put 3 days into one, 2 days into one, that sort of stuff. Keeps it more interesting. Keeps me from flooding the market with videos like that. I'm probably going to come back out here on Saturday and cut the bus in the old Dodge. Hopefully we don't get too much snow. I know Thursday is supposed to be bitter cold and snowing, so we'll see what happens there, but it's not going to stop me at these prices. I've got to hustle no matter what the prices do. Plus, next month is mushroom month, so I'm going to be taking off half days at least once a week to go mushroom hunting. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know some of you probably didn't because of cutting these old trucks up, but if you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know which of the noses was your favorite. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and remember to get out there and find an adventure. We'll see you next time.